All right, they're stacking up around here, and I've got a bunch of guitar reviews to do, but today we're going to take a look at one from Firefly. It's the FFVX. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and you know, I've been a big fan of the Dean ML for quite some time. I got to play one a while back and it was fantastic, and I was like, man, I love the shape, you know? I'm a child of the 80s. Well, I was born in 68, but you know what I mean. I love 80s music, and obviously I've got an Explorer up here, I've got a V, and those have been my guitars all along. I'm also a big fan of Pantera and Dimebag Darrell, so I just have never been able to get my hands on a real Dean ML. And a couple of the copies that I've seen out there were just but you know, Firefly, I know they make a good guitar, and so when I saw that they were going to have their version of the Dean ML, it's the FFVX, I thought, man, I might actually have a shot at it. This thing is really nice. It's very, very lightweight. I did do an unboxing of this, and the this one right here, this is nice too. This is a rosewood, quote unquote, rosewood telly that I'm going to be getting to very soon. But yeah, I got both of those, and I did an unboxing, so I put the weights and everything like that up on that. So if you want to watch that, that link is popping up right here. But yeah, it's very lightweight. I don't want to say it's very well made, but I mean, the workmanship on this is really very nice. From that flame top to the binding around the edges, you know, even the tremolo came actually flush to the body. I mean, you know, it's nice and flat. So the setup on this was actually quite good. It has a little tiny bit of fret buzz. I did do a little bit of setup on this, but I'm good with it where it's at. Fret buzz, it's not that big of a deal. You'll hear when we play it in just a couple of minutes. So a couple things about this guitar and why it's not exactly like a Dean ML. First of all, your headstock. So it's a little bit offset, and this one is taller than that one on the points, so that's different. They do have this here, which kind of looks like the Dean that has like little wings on it, but they're not wings. It's kind of more like razor blades or something. The truss rod cover on here says Pro, and it does have the string retainer, which is very nice. And you'll see a little bit more of the up-close stuff in the unboxing or the show and tell with these. They've got this thing really far down, so it's really pushing those strings down into the V's of those saddles, so that helps. But does it stay in tune? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. Another difference is the points. Instead of being actually pointy, see, it's kind of got like a cut to it. So that and the headstock, probably things that are done to make it not exactly like the same shape as a Dean ML. It does have those rounded ball end stainless steel jumbo frets on here. And the inlays are just, man, they are beautiful. Take a look at that. Man, that is nice. Now the back of this guitar, you can't really tell unless you get a nice flash picture of it. Now you can see that the wood underneath there is, well, it's showing through and it looks really good. Access to the higher frets is very good. And I don't know if this is an improved or different tremolo system that they have on here than previous ones, but you know, I've gotten others that had that on there. And it was kind of, you know, sometimes these fine tuners were really, really tight or something else. Everything on here is mechanically sound. Works really well. Well, let's go ahead and see how it sounds, and we'll come back and give you my final impressions. All right, first things first, couple things on here. This bar is like crazy high in its bend there. I don't know if you can see that. So might want to get a new tremolo bar for it. Also, I'm not really sure how they've got these knobs configured here. So we're all the way down here on the bottom position of the switch. Just turn. Okay, so that's off. But you can still hear it, so I'm guessing that the neck pickup is still getting a little bit of that. And then if we turn it all the way up and turn that one all the way off, you can still hear a little bit of it, of this one, I guess, is what I'm guessing there. Now, the tone, that definitely works. And then all the way up. So yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on with that. Something I'll have to look at. And I may actually want to switch out these pickups. The pickups are decent, but they're a little bit thin sounding to me. They're just not quite as hot as I would imagine, especially on a guitar like this, right? Then again, they don't sound horrible either. Put it up on this one here. Now, one of the things that people complain about with these Floyd Roses that come with these things is that bends will often put them out of tune, but it really doesn't on this one. So that's a good thing. You know, one thing I don't love about these painted necks is that your hands do stick when they get a little bit sweaty. Let's take it down into the bridge position. All right, let's try some clean here, okay? So we're gonna take it back up to here. So, I mean, it's got, you know, it has good sounds to it. All right, let's try this though, because this tremolo does stay in tune better than, say, the first Firefly that I got that had one of these tremolos on here. I don't know if they've actually improved the tremolo, gone with a different model or a different maker or something, but it does, the guitar is staying in tune really well. Thing is, when we go for a dive or something like that, I can already hear that it's out of tune. So I'm probably, what I might do is I'm probably going to put a trem stop inside there. I might just switch out the tremolo. This is a nice enough guitar that I might want to swap out the pickups and swap out the tremolo, you know? I mean, that doesn't seem like a stretch. Maybe even redo the wiring on it, but she's a beauty. All right, I just tuned it up and it was pretty far out of tune. You know, I wouldn't have minded if this didn't come with a tremolo at all. If it was just a, you know, a stop, that would have been fine with me. But it's a nice guitar. I've always wanted a Dean ML and just never got my hands on one. So I was like, look, for $249, I think is what it was. Why the heck not, right? By the way, I typically record using the Shure SM57 out of this 412 cab from Marshall and an Engel Fireball 25 tube amp. I just want you to get the purest sound, no processing or anything like that, into Reaper. But right now, I'm going to test out this microphone because I just got this Rode microphone and it's really nice. It's about a $400 mic. I wanted to see how it does with room sound, so. And you'll also maybe notice with this, because this microphone's pretty close to the neck, there is a little bit of fret buzz on here, but I've learned through the years that sometimes you're going to get a little bit of fret buzz to get that action that you want, as long as it doesn't deaden the strings while you're playing, especially with an amplifier. That's really what matters, okay? So you're not going to hear that if I'm playing on stage or playing to a crowd, right? So overall, it's a nice guitar. Firefly guitars are really good modding platforms. I mean, you know, it's great out of the box. If this were my first guitar, I'd be pretty stoked on it. I mean, it plays really nicely. You know, pickups could be a little bit better. And being only, I guess, we'll just say under $300. I think this, I can't remember, was it $250, I think? Maybe $269? But even with that, if I spent another couple $100 on some pickups and maybe a new tremolo system for it or something like that, that's really not all that bad, you know what I mean? The only thing that I was actually disappointed in is that we don't have locking tuners on this one. it would just be nice to have them. It doesn't help that much with tuning stability, but when changing your strings, it really comes into play. It's a big deal for me. I like them. Now, of course, with this locking nut on here, you're not using these all the time, but they do work very well, and well, there's no stepping or any kind of looseness in them. If I were to rewire this, I would probably want to reconfigure it. Just get rid of that tone control altogether, move your volume knobs down there, and put a kill switch right there. That would be pretty nice. But overall, you don't have to do anything to this guitar for it to be pretty darn great. Well, like I said, I've got, what, 3 or 4 other Fireflies to review, and I've also got this up here. This is a, well, it's, I guess you'll call it like a Chibson, but it is a John 5 Ghost replica, and it's pretty nice. That does have a kill switch on it, so that'll be fun to play with too. I've also got a couple of pedals like the Tone X1 to review, so stick around for that. So that is the Firefly FFVX is what this one's called. That's the model number on it. It's not currently available on their website, but I will put a link down to guitarsgarden.com down there. They do drops every week. This week they did one that's just like that, but doesn't have the white neck on it. And you'll also pretty much find Strat style and Les Paul style guitars on there like all the time. But for the stuff that people really want to get their hands on, well, you're going to find that they do the drops and then they're sold out probably by midday at the latest. So you got to get on there right when they get dropped. Best thing to do is to follow one of their Facebook groups. I'll put a link down there for the one that I frequent all the time, and their Instagram account, because they put breaking news on there all the time, and they'll tell you which ones they expect to release and when. Well, within a week or two, you know what I mean? Look, I know I'm not the best player in the world and I'm not the biggest shredder, but hey, I'm improving all the time, probably just like a lot of you. So I do really appreciate you watching these videos. It means the world to me. And if you like what you see, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there and notification bell. If you click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. Don't forget there's a thanks button down below this video. If you're so inclined, want to toss a couple bucks my way, it is not inexpensive to run these channels, so every penny counts. I really appreciate that. But either way, I'm just glad you're here and I really do appreciate you. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.